this is the worst it's ever been. And the economy is larger and more diversified now than it was in 1987. We haven't come far enough in diversification, but the economy is stronger. But I do believe that we're on the edge. I can look off into the dark abyss. A $4 billion deficit is monumental and truly frightening. And the dirty little secret that enough people in Juneau have not come to grips with is that we have to do everything, and we need to do it this year. And that's hard to take, but if we don't do that and come to grips with that and take action this year, we are truly kicking the can down the road. I believe the most likely thing for the Republicans who are listening to their most conservative base elements, who are saying just cut the budget to the bone. That's all you need to do is cut the size of the government and public services to the bone. That will truly take us off the edge of a meltdown in the private sector economy. So the most likely thing would be for the Republicans to significantly jack up Governor Walker's $100 million proposed cut. That's on top of about $800 million in operating and capital reduced last year. But the Republicans are in a bad mood that they didn't get enough credit from journalists and from the public of cutting $800 million last year. So their uninformed, low information voters or constituents are basically saying the budget hasn't been cut and you need to cut the budget more. So if they cut too deeply, they take us off the cliff of an economic or private sector meltdown. They also plan to not touch the dividend going into the next election. And they also plan to get 11 votes together to raid the earnings reserve account to balance the budget. We're in a much better situation this year because of the bipartisan working group. 4 years ago, Republicans and Democrats shared power for 6 years. And instead of going on a spending spree, we went on a savings spree. And we saved $18 billion. We paid back the constitutional budget reserve, created the statutory budget reserve, and saved $18 billion when we had high oil prices and a fair oil tax. And thank goodness we did, or we'd be up a creek right now. But for a lot of political reasons, I think the legislature is incapable, the current legislative leadership is incapable of making all the right decisions, or most of the right decisions this year. And it means it puts us at risk going forward. I am fairly pessimistic about the ability of the legislature, the current legislature, to make the right decisions this year. My goal would be to make it a proportionate and fair plan that takes money from the people best situated to contribute to public services in our state, and to make sure that the dividend is protected to the greatest extent possible and never goes below $1,000 and is still connected to the investment, the wisdom of the investments of the state of Alaska. I don't like Governor Walker's idea to tie the dividend to the success or lack thereof of our resource development. I think the dividend should be pegged to the rolling 5-year average and associated with the wisdom of our investment strategy of the fund. And I think that it better protects the permanent fund dividend going forward. But the plan has to be multidimensional and it has to be fair, and the people running the legislature today may not be capable of a fair and proportionate plan.